everybody, it's me, Lisa Concepcion, love coach, founder of Love Quest Coaching, and I'm very excited because tonight I'm doing my Facebook Live, Lisa's Lowdown on Love Live, from my like page. Usually I do them from my personal page, but I have to switch it to the like page so that people can find me there and I can engage with them and interact with them and basically tell you guys about future stuff that I have going on, certain things that my personal page does not allow me to do. So I'm trying to migrate everybody over. And what's interesting is I have a lot of people from my like page who don't follow me on my personal page because my personal page is limited to a certain amount of people. So there are people over there, and then there are people who follow me on both. So either way, I'm hopeful that we all get to connect and that this message does reach people because it is a good one. This week, while coaching, and in weeks past, and also just in regular interactions with people, there was a common topic that kept coming up, and it had to do with trust. So, like, trust issues, and like, what is the deal with trust, right? Trust is a big deal. Like, when trust is broken, everything just kind of falls away. And so people put a lot of emphasis on trust and what it means in a relationship, and what I'd like to do is focus on different aspects of trust and why certain people have trust issues. So what I would like to begin with is, asking you guys, what's up with the trust issues? A lot of people have trust issues because they feel like people will betray them, or they won't be able to have an openness, like a freeness to communicate about anything. So the trust takes many, many forms in relationships. And in the relationship with yourself, the most important relationship that there is, there has to be trust. So a lot of times when people coach with me, I ask them questions and I quickly see how they are afraid of diving in on relationships because they don't really trust themselves. And so they think that it's about the other person. Oh, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to put myself out there. The last time I really gave of myself, I got screwed over. And so they're reluctant to going all in on the relationship. So this has to do more about and with self-trust, trust of oneself. So I have a few points that I wrote down, super prepared for you. So we're going to go through these, and I'm going to share with you insecurity. Andres Zapata says insecurity. No, totally true. So, the deal is, when I found in my life, there were two instances where trust was compromised big time. Me on the dishing out end and on the receiving end, right? But the thing that was common to it was that I was so rattled, not so much because the other person, it hurt me and it sucked, but I felt I couldn't trust myself. Like, I couldn't protect myself. Like, my ability to decipher bullshit was, gone because I was so consumed and into this person that, I didn't even have any kind of sense of seeing the red flags of what I was getting involved in. And also what was going on, right under my nose, literally. So, when that happens and you find out, what a fool you were, that you were, trusting this person and you weren't even, you were just not paying attention, or you were just blind in your own little world of whatever was going on behind your back, or, you're like, oh my God, I remember, we were at this party and, there was some shady shit that was going on, and I didn't even think of it. Like, I knew it, but I didn't follow through with it. It's like those types of memories that you have then makes you question your trust. So I took some notes. I jotted down some important points that I wanted to share with you. And the basic thing with trust is, like, it's rooted in an insecurity with yourself. So what people end up doing is they think about outside. They think about, that person is shady, I can't trust that person. And the last time I was in a relationship, I trusted somebody and then they screwed me over. So to the degree by which you trust yourself is the degree by which you will trust others. And here's why. When you have trust issues, there are like plenty of reasons, but I wrote 4 big ones down. So the first one is that you're paying too much attention to your past and the times that trust was compromised in your past, instead of paying attention to the loyalty that you want to attract in the future. So as long as you're coming at something from a place of lack, the thing that you fear the most, or the thing that you feel lack for the most, is the very thing that you'll just keep attracting. So this is how this works. Basically, a person will go out and he'll or she'll fall in love, and then in a relationship, and then something happens and it gets screwed over. I don't know, somebody cheats, or just, you said you'd love me forever, and now you change your mind. How can I trust you? How can I trust anybody? People are fickle. One minute they're into me, the next minute they're like, go suck it, I'm out of here, right? So, like, there's no trust. Like, 1 minute yes, next minute no, what is that? So it makes people feel very, like, rattled. Now, the problem with that is that we get into this mindset of momentum. Like, I'm always going to find people who are going to screw me over. I can't trust anyone. Like, that type of talk only paints that reality. So how do you switch it? This is the hardest part. I mean, I could sit here and tell you, like, and you're probably looking at me like, yeah, I say that. Oh my God, I've said that. So how do you pivot to where you want to go from where you are? So where you want to go is happy, loyal, harmonious relationship where there's openness and honesty, and you're owning your truth. You're like, this is what I think about something, and like, here's what I want to talk about, and you're open, and the person is like, cool, like, creates a platform for openness. That is what you want to do in your relationship. You don't want to be judgy. You don't want to impose your thinking on somebody else. Like, you just want to, like, have this open space where you can be you and they can be them, and you're free to have conversation and, hash stuff out, grow and learn. Okay. So I wrote down that when people pay too much attention to the past hurts, instead of realizing that they attracted those past hurts simply by focusing on the fear of being hurt, it's like you perpetuate the hurt. So focus on what's wanted. So what I invite you to do is, if you're looking to be in a harmonious, joyous relationship where there's loyalty and openness, get a journal, write down exactly the kind of relationship and the kind of values that you have for the best case scenario relationship, period. And then that leads me to the second thing, which is people who have trust issues typically have unclear standards for themselves, unclear boundaries, and they are unclear and unable to articulate how they want to be treated. So the primary example for how we're to be treated is the way we treat ourselves. So we have to treat ourselves like the love that you want from someone else. You need to give that to yourself, and you need to walk in alignment with that treatment, those values that you want to evoke in someone else. You have to do it for you. So that's the example. So when people meet Lisa, they might say, wow, like she's friendly, outgoing girl, you know, super nice, whatever. But she's no one to fuck with because I love myself and I'm not going to tolerate bullshit. Now, that doesn't mean I have to be confrontational or aggressive. Just, you know, my standards are super clear. There's a way that I'm to be treated, and I'm fully prepared to wish love and light and peace on out if I'm not being treated the way I want to be treated. So, great comment, Sabrina. She says, there is no love without trust. So here's the thing with that, and this is the mindset to shift to. There can be love for everyone. There should be love for everyone. I was listening to Gabrielle Bernstein. She had this really interesting point that kind of like stopped me in my tracks. And she said, see yourself in the other person. So as angry as you are, as, you know, pissed off as you are, take a second to see yourself in that other person. And that's when you can have love for them, regardless of what they may be doing to you or to themselves or whatever. You could totally have love for everybody and should have love for everybody. But it doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily be with them, sharing air with them. Like, you can love people like, love and light, dude, but I gotta go. That still, you wish well, no ill will towards anyone, but you have to understand your own values. Great point, Larnette. And you trust yourself enough to make decisions when others show you who they are. And so when we lack that ability to decipher between what we want, what we value, and what the other people are showing us, we don't trust ourselves. It becomes a very vulnerable, and not in a good way vulnerable, but like in a risky way. You're like emotionally at risk. So definitely get your values on point. Write them down. I'm so big into journaling. Like, get super clear on what it is you want in a partner, and really get clear on what you will and will not tolerate, and really dig in there and really get those values on point. Write them down. Get clear on it. And from that place, you'll start to grow the trust. You'll start to be like, I trust myself. Like, whatever. I know, you know, what I'm looking for, what red flags are there, what questions to ask, the information that I need to know before I invite somebody into my life deeper and deeper. So that's all boundaries, and they're healthy and they're necessary. And when we don't have them, we feel guarded. So if you want to be more open and more, let's say, receiving of another person's point of view, a relationship, etc., become more clear in your own boundaries, your own standards. Having clear standards, so important. I know somebody who recently was telling me that this guy that she just started talking to, I think she met him on like an online dating, I think it was like eHarmony or something. Anyway, was thinking nothing of texting her and blowing up her phone at like 10:30 at night. They just met. I think they went on maybe like one date. And she was like, I don't feel right about that. Like, this is my schedule. I don't get it. Like, and I said to her, I said, well, you know, you are the first example of how you're to be treated. Like, we teach people how we are to be treated. So, you know, you don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be accusatory or masculine and aggressive, but you can say, so just out of curiosity, what is your work schedule? And remember, always ask questions to gain understanding. For all you know, this guy has a work schedule where the first time he can be like clear and free in his thoughts isn't until like 10 o'clock at night. And, you don't know. So, especially when you're first getting to know somebody, these are the questions that you need to ask so that you can determine if this person is a fit for you. So she, asked me, like, what do I do? Like, I don't want this guy blowing up my phone at 10:30 at night. Like, I don't really know him. If, granted, we have a relationship, we've established rapport, fine, you can hit me up at midnight, whatever, you're my boy, like, it's all good. We have trust. But in those very beginning stages, it's really important to establish some boundaries and make it so that a person has to earn access, through trust. The more I trust a person, the more they show me who they are, the more access they get. And in return, the more access I would get. So, a lot of people just go like, boom, instant relationship. They have a date, they hit it off, and like they're already, ooh, I'm going to try to get into her apartment, or, oh, I'm going to invite him to sleep over, or whatever. And it's like, again, trust is everything. And you have to be able to trust yourself first and most all the time. And so when you're behaving in a way that isn't aligned with whatever values you have, that's where you start to feel, I can't trust them because really I don't trust me. So get your trust on point. The other thing I wrote down was when we feel as if we are putting our happiness and our power in the hands of another person, we instantly feel mistrust. We feel something is off. And the reason for that is because deep down in our core, we know that no one is to be in total power and control of our happiness. We are. 100% all the time. So when you're looking to this person, right? Let's say you meet this amazing girl. Oh my God, she's so amazing. Super well, like just well behaved, good girl, like really polite, elegant, awesome, psyched, go to dinner. You're like, oh my God, I love this girl, whatever. And you're just kind of like, assessing what to do about it next, right? So like as a guy, you're attracted, you're totally going to maybe make a move on her. You're going to see like how far you can go. But like, wouldn't it be nice if you trusted yourself enough to say, I trust that if I take this slow, I won't lose this girl. If anything, she'll only like me more. So I am not going to rush into bed. I'm not going to try to impose myself and like get into her apartment and whatever. I really want to make this work. See where it can go. Let it grow organically. And I trust that the first date was great, that we will talk tomorrow, that we can see where this can go, and I trust that the more open and honest I am with her, the more open and honest she will be with me, and we'll just communicate early on that your values in a relationship are ones of loyalty, trust, openness, respect. So whatever those values are for you, like these are just mine, like right from the jump when I met my now boyfriend, I knew the man literally 3 hours and I was laying it down. He was like, oh, I want to see you again. So I was like, oh, wonderful. I want to see you again too. It was wonderful to meet you. But let me be very clear. See? But clarity, boundaries. Number one, I said, listen, where I am in my life right now, I'm looking for the real deal. Like I am a really loyal girl. I'm not into like the whole date you on a Tuesday and date someone else tomorrow and then someone else on Saturday. Like I'm not down with that cause. I've done it. It's not really where I'm at anymore. And I'm rolling solo because of it. Like totally all good. So my intention when I come to the next date is to explore and pursue something meaningful and serious and focused and me only attention on you. And those are my values. And there was a level of trust between me and me to say all this. People are like, holy shit, like you laid that out like right there the first time you met? Like, are you crazy? Like, weren't you afraid that he was going to be turned off? Like, oh my God, you came on so strong. You were like, listen, here's the deal. I'm coming at this one-on-one. Like, I'm all about a relationship. And if you're all about dating without any purpose, then I'm not your girl. But I'm your friend. You made a friend. It's fine. I live up the block. We can go watch the Giants and have a beer, dude. It's all good. But it doesn't mean I'm going to be in an intimate relationship with you. So I made that clear. That's how there's trust. See, I trusted me, my values, my own direction and purpose of how I'm coming at a relationship. So because I trusted me, it didn't really matter what he was going to say back. I wasn't here to get his approval or to get him to like me. I already got him to like me because he's asking me out on a date number 2. He just met me. But I love me. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you exactly where I'm at. And also, how trustworthy am I now to him when I can be forthright about my intentions? So he's thinking, wow, this girl's really open and honest. Like, she's going to give it to me straight. And that builds trust right from the jump. He was like, my God, I heard everything you said. It only makes me like you more. So life's too short for bullshit. Like, let's do this. And we've been together like a little over a year and a half. So, you know, and we still, now that we're in the relationship, definitely one of our values in the relationship, because like the couple, you have your own values, right? Values. He has values, they each person. But then together, it's nice because then you start to create your relationship and what your values of the relationship are. So that's based on the 2 people in the relationship. You know, whatever those values are. But what's cool about that is the trust that you have for yourself, you then bring into the relationship, which only builds the trust between you and that person. So this way, like if I have beef, like I had beef last week, ridiculous beef. And I felt like I trusted myself to speak my truth, to be like, this is not sitting well with me. I need to bring it up. I feel like something's off. And I communicated about it, and there was trust so that we can say anything to each other as long as it's, you know, with love and the goal to understand one another, not to like be right, but to be happy and just together, you know, figure it out. And we did. We talked it through. Amazing that we did. Felt even closer after. Got clarity. Awesome, awesome. And together formed more trust because now it's like, whoa, I had this beef and I was able to bring it up. And he received it and understood it. And it felt like a little bit like we were kind of getting into, you know, weird territory where we couldn't figure it out. And then, you know, the more we talked it through, and it wasn't even like a long talk either. It was just like, you know, just expression of like what was going on. And I got to the root of like what was going on with me. And he handled it. It was great. So the point is, you want to always have trust of yourself. It's very self-loving to have boundaries, to have standards, to be very clear on how you're to be treated. And this goes for guys and for girls. I mean, this isn't just like, you know, oh, I'm a woman, therefore I'm telling women to like, yeah, be treated like a queen and all this. Yes, absolutely you want to be treated well, but you also want to have trust that if you're not being treated well, that you will peacefully excuse yourself from that situation. You will not, and this goes for men and women, you will not lower your standards just so that you're not alone. And a lot of people do that. And that is a danger to the trust. You're not trusting yourself. That's when you go out and you're single and you go out with your girlfriends or you go out with your guy friends and, you know, you run into an ex or you run into like an old flame, some chick you used to hook up with, whatever. And you don't have that self-trust, and what ends up happening, you end up going home with them, you end up opening up a can of bullshit, when really, you're not in alignment. You're like, wait a second, like, this isn't what I want, yet this is where I end up. Why? I don't even trust myself. Like, what the hell? And so that's when you start to think that you can't trust others. Again, I will repeat, to the degree by which you trust yourself is the degree by which you will trust another. Write that shit down. Let's see. We got some comments. Yeah, Larnette said we have to first understand our own relationship values. Exactly. Eddie Edwards says, hey. And Christina is in total agreement. So I throw it out to you guys. I don't know if you're still watching or whatever, but what was a time where you may have felt that you didn't really trust yourself? And I often say, like, when you're in that phase of like, dude, I don't even trust myself, I am making shitty decisions when it comes to men or women, I'm finding myself in these like weird situations, you know, sometimes that's just a signal from inside to put the brakes on dating and just be like, you know what? I got to reconnect with me. I got to get like my own trust within me built up so that I could date with purpose. I could date from a strong place. I could, you know, take out women and understand what it is that I am looking for before I throw down money on an expensive dinner, before I really, you know, commit to anything bigger than, you know, a few drinks or a dessert or coffee or whatever. So, you know, get that method, get that plan, get your trust on point with yourself. And I tell you, once you become super, super clear about what it is you want, how you want to live, what you will tolerate, what you know, don't tolerate, you will find that you will trust others. And Sabrina adds, I do trust me, but others, not really. So the deal is, when you are trusting of yourself, there's no reason to not trust somebody else, because what they do isn't going to affect you if you trust yourself. So what's the worst that can happen? Somebody shows you that they're shady or whatever, and you walk away. And you're like, you know why? Because I trust me. And so you're open. You're able to be like, bring it. I'm here to just see what you're about. And you're basing your mistrust of others on past. This person is new. This person is fresh snow, brand new. Poof, out of the ether appears in your life. And you're putting all your past bullshit and experiences on this person. Just because people screwed you over, people that you attracted screwed you over, situations that you attracted ended up that way. So when you take full on responsibility and you say, yeah, you know what, I've had guys that, you know, lied to me or whatever, but, you know, this dude's new. Like, this dude's new. And, like, he's fresh snow. Think of it like fresh snow. No dog pissed on it yet. No car went on it yet. No footprints on it. Fresh snow. So give that a fair shot. Totally give yourself the opportunity to trust yourself, right? That you'll say, you know what, this guy, fresh snow, I'm going to give it a chance. Why? Because I trust myself. I trust myself that if I see a red flag, that I'll bring it up and I'll talk about it with him. And if he answers the question and it seems a little shady, I'm going to trust my gut. Trust me. I trust me first. So I'm going to toodaloo, peace out. I'm going to give you a story. In 2015, when I was going through my divorce, I made the unfortunate mistake of rolling into like a rebound relationship without healing from my divorce. I just went right in, security blanket relationship, boom, I'm right in there, right? So in the beginning of this relationship, I saw all these red flags. Red flag, red flag, red flag. The guy was talking about his girlfriend all the time. They were broken up and not really, but yeah, they were. It was drama. All the things that I don't really tolerate, but I did then. So I was out of alignment. Like, my inner being was like, dude, this is bullshit. Like, what the hell are you even doing right now? But my outer, living was completely like depressed and awful, and I needed to just have attention, and I felt terribly, and I did not trust myself. I was not making decisions from a place of power. I was making decisions from a place of sadness, and there was a lack of focus and a lack of clarity on what it was I wanted. I thought I knew what I wanted, but had I known what I wanted and had I had the trust, I would have been out of that before it even started. Before it even went to the way it went, I would have been like, wait, what? This guy's telling me he's in love with me. I know him for 2 weeks. Like, wait, what? And it was a red flag. And then, came the invitation to go to Cancun. And then he's staying with me in the same hotel that he stayed with his ex-girlfriend. Like, drama soup. And I'm like the chef, spinning the drama soup. I'm only making it more dramatic. And I'm like, what the hell? But didn't trust myself. So in my healing, right, through this process that I did with myself, I totally remember saying to my therapist that, you know what, it wasn't that this guy lied to me for 5.5 months. It's not the fact that he lied to me. It's the fact that I wanted to believe. I wanted so very much to believe. That was the part that messed me up. That was the part that made me question my own self-trust, my own ability to see bullshit and walk away from it. That's what messed me up. That's what sent me into a swirl, because I felt I couldn't protect myself. Oh my God, any schmuck ass can roll up to me and tell me what I want to hear. And because I so want to believe it, I'm going to believe it. Are you kidding me? I say that now. Back then, different mindset. So I did that work, and now I help other people accomplish the same thing. So if you are going through a thing where you're seeing a pattern of trust, either self-trust, where you're like, I don't know, I feel like, these guys, they come at me, these women, they come at me a certain way. Before I know it, I'm shelling out money. My last ex-girlfriend took me for $5,000, $20,000. I hear stories, let me tell you, crazy shit. And women with men, oh my God, this guy, he ended up stealing from me. I had a watch, he stole it from my room. Monster stories. Why? Because you're giving too much without first earning trust. Trust is earned. It's earned through time. People are jumping into bed too fast. They're doing stuff just based on the fun, but they're not really trusting themselves to allow the space and the time and just like breathe a minute to see, is this person someone that I can trust? Is this somebody who's going to do the right thing by me? So Jason weighs in. Thank you for your comment, Jason. He says, I had a moment like this a couple of weeks ago where she started comparing me to her ex. In words, I had to cut dinner short and told her I would not be treated that way, in a nice way. And he went home without, and it says see more, and I can't see more, but I'm curious about this comment, so I will read the whole thing. But in short, Jason, it sounds like you saw a red flag, you paid attention, you were listening, and then you made decisions for yourself, self-loving decisions to either walk away from a situation that just is not speaking to your soul. Your gut tells you where the trust is. I'll give you an example. I dated a guy, and right from the beginning, he was honest with me about where he was in his life as far as professionally. He wasn't ready for anything serious. He was just all about the fun, and I looked at that like, all right, cool. Like, I'm just kind of getting back into dating after, this process of healing. And I haven't dated anybody in months and months and months. And now I guess I'm ready to, have some fun in my life. And he seemed fun, and he was honest and upfront from the beginning. And so, it wasn't very long that we dated, but it was a good, respectful relationship, as short as it was, where he can see me in the street, I can see him in the street, and we'd be like, hey, like, all good, all is well. You never want to compromise the trust so that you're out and about and you see someone that you once dated or whatever, and you're just like, oh my God. Like, that is not good. You don't ever, never strive for that. You always want to be like, hey, like, how are you? Hope it's well, all is good. Just like a good thing. Now, trust me, there are certain people where, shit went down, and, it's never going to be like rainbows and butterflies, but you can still be classy and, elegant with it. So trust yourself enough to navigate yourself. You can't control what the other person does. This is where the self-trust comes in, right? You can't control what they're going to do. You can't put your happiness in their hands. You're going to set yourself up to fail for that. All you can do is trust yourself to say, here's how I roll. These are my standards. This is how I'm to be treated. And trust me that I will make decisions for myself. And just let the person be free to behave the way that they behave. And if it's a fit for you and it works for you, great. If it's not, then you could have your own trust to say either I walk away from this or we have a conversation. So I guess that's kind of it. I mean, like, in relationships, the big thing with the trust is you want to create a safe space where both people can just communicate freely and openly from a position of respect and an intent to understand. That is huge. Learned that the hard way. But now that I know better, I do better. And my whole way I show up in relationships is so different, and it's awesome. So I'm psyched for that. Because, it takes, learning. You learn stuff. And then, you could apply it to whatever your new situation is. And then that builds more trust for yourself and more trust for the other person. So, again, if you guys are watching this and you know somebody in your circles, maybe yourself, maybe someone else, where you're like, dude, I'm good, and then all of a sudden, like, I attract shady, and I get kind of hung up on, like, is this guy going to screw me over? Is this girl going to screw me over? Like, you get hung up on that. Like, let's do a session. Let's handle that. It totally will be doable. I basically do coaching. I have 4 packs of power sessions. You could book them, use them whenever you like. We just schedule it out. I have the deeper immersions, which are the one-on-one coaching. That's like 90 days. Awesome. That's like true transformation. But I even do like one-off power sessions. So you just have like something that you have a question on and you want to try to handle it within yourself. We can work that out pretty quickly too. So I invite you to drop me a note. You can reach me directly at lisaconcepcion.com. You can find me at lovequestcoaching.com, and my email is on there as well. You could hit me up here on this Facebook channel. You could also hit me up on my regular Facebook. I am everywhere. Just Google me. You'll find my email. You'll be able to connect with me. Thanks so much, and trust you. Nobody trusts you better, more than yourself. Gotta leave the past at the doorstep and not bring it into your new relationship. That's great advice, Jason. Thanks so much for your comments, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And share this video. Tell your friends that this is the spot to hang out Monday nights at 10. We're going to have a lot of really cool topics and interactions. And I may even get some prizes, so people who comment can win on the lowdown. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.